questions and whatever you need to ask as quick as you can. Get everyone home, get the last drink for Stevenage. So, any questions? I thought, before you, I'd just say I thought it was a magnificent performance from Bill. It was like the continuation of the Lemieux fight. Boxing, I mean, he's got a great boxing brain, he's got great footwork, great reflexes, fast hands. You look at it, no wonder no one wants to fight him. And they don't want to fight him, it's finding it very difficult to do it. And to step up a weight, to do what he done, having been out there, I mean, I forget about the fight at Christmas. He took that, 2 weeks notice?
Week
Notice, and he was well overweight. But he just wanted to do something before Christmas, set himself up for this big fight. Was it nearly 17 months since the Lemieux fight?
14 months.
No, more than that.
Is it? No, it's December.
Yeah.
So it's 18 months, whatever it is. So it's a long time out of the ring. You know, a lot of disappointment last year, and to move up a weight as well, not getting a fight. You know, to go straight into that against a guy that I know a lot of people saying, "Oh, it's going to be a walkover." Well, the way he boxes, he can make it look like a walkover. But I knew that fellow was going to be tough. I knew he was a big, strong man coming down from cruiserweight. Obviously, coming down to the weight, he was a much bigger. He was physically a bigger man than Bill, but Bill done extremely well. You know, the art of boxing, hitting and not being hit. Although he did get clipped in the fight, he got which happens in boxing. But that tells you, again, that his boxing brain to how he got through that. And it's just to become, was it the 12th Brit now to be a two-weight world champion. He's joined that exclusive club. That's a bit of a thing. And now it's onwards and upwards. We're keeping busy this year. He wants another 2 fights this year, which we're going to work on. And I'm going to try as hard as I can to ensure that one of those is a big one, or even both of them, are big fights.
Bill, congratulations. It's like you've never been away, hasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, first of all, I've already thanked everyone. Just got to obviously thank Frank Warren and his team because, people give me a lot of stick. Say, oh yeah, you're this, you're that. You should go here and this and that team. But I'm world champion, 2-weight world champion. So one thing with Frank Warren, what he says, he delivers. And I've been with him since day one. I'd like to finish my career with him. I said that to him. So a big thank you to his team and to MTK. And obviously Ben. I just felt I felt a little bit ring rust in there myself, to be honest with you. I felt a little bit sluggish. I was just saying to Ben, funny enough, in the changing rooms, I felt a little bit, I felt a little bit overheated. Like, I don't know if it was a small fit, I don't know what it was, and I just felt a little bit overheated. But when I got out there, a bit of on the outside, I freshened myself up. I just feel that, I know when I'm on my day, there's not, I believe, not a super middleweight or middleweight that can beat me on my day. As long as I'm 100%. I've signed the contract for Golovkin twice. I've chased all them at middleweight. I've had to move to super middleweight, not because I can't make middleweight, because there's just no one wants it at middleweight. So, hopefully the big fights can come at super middleweight now. I'll leave that to my team to sort out. And I just want to stay busy this year. Like Frank said, I want to be up 3 times this year and keep the ball rolling now. I'm not getting any younger. I'm 29 and I feel that I'm just coming into my prime. And that's far from my best. That's 16 months out. I had to shake a little bit of ring rust off there, and I just felt a little bit of rust there. But that's brushed off, and I want to move straight into the second one now to get the ball rolling to move on from that performance.
You think that you need another fight for maybe one of those big names?
No, I generally believe now that I'm this sort of fight. Once I get that bit of ring rust out, get the swing of things, I'm willing to go. I'm ready to go. I'll be in the gym again. I'll have a week off and start my training back up. So I'll be willing to go and get back into camp for a big fight because, I'm not inexperienced. I'm very experienced. I just feel that ring rust has blew off. I had the same thing when I boxed Willie Monroe. 2 back-to-back mandaries, beat Willie Monroe, awkward southpaw, then moved straight into the performance of David Lemieux. So I'm better when I'm active.
If you could pick your next opponent, who would it be then?
I would love to fight Canelo. That's the fight I would love. He's super middleweight world champion, but I don't like all this weight clauses they put on opponents, and I think it's very dangerous for one. And I think it's a form of cheating in a way, because if you're putting a restriction on a fighter to get in the ring and weigh in at 5 o'clock when there's no need to, I just think that's obviously he's doing it because it's in his favour and you don't blame him. But I wouldn't really like to be doing them sort of clauses in contracts. But I'd love to have a 168 fight with Canelo.
Eubanks still on the radar?
Listen, Eubanks can be on the radar, but on my terms. I remember when I was going for a bad patch, and people mentioned my name, he was saying, he's got to wait, he's got to do this, got to do that. Well, I'm super middleweight world champion now, so if he wants to fight, I'll fight him next. Frank can get on the phone in the morning and make the fight, no problem. And but it's got to be on my terms, not stupid terms. Frank can tell you how hard they are to deal with. I think we signed, what did we sign? Twice. I think it was done, wasn't it, with lawyers. And it's just cost a load of money. Like, it cost Frank a load of money getting it done. Time and camps and, so if he wants to fight, listen, I'm fit. I'm willing to get back in camp and make the big fight. But it's just hard work to make them fights.
And at the end of the day, you think when he looks at his record, it's got on there, Billy Joe Saunders lost. You think he'd want to try and reverse that. He has no intention. And I used to think it's the old man, but I also think it's him now, the kid. Well, he's not a kid, is he? Was he 29, 30?
Yeah.
So if they want it, it's no problem at all making that. It's a pay-per-view fight, and both fighters will make a lot of money, no doubt about that. And it would be that would be a big fight. But my dealings with him, I think you've got more chance of what's more chance of Canelo fighting you at the moment. They just don't want to know. They don't want to know. You only got to look at Bill's style, and he's got a great style. Look at Lemieux. He spent 12 rounds of punching air. That's what he did, and he's now featuring on big shows again in the States with Golden Boy, isn't he?
Yeah.
So they don't want to know, and Bill's, I don't know what it is. You would think that the fact he held the middleweight belt, and now he's holding this one, you'd think they'd be queuing up to unify it.
How do you rate the other champions of super middleweight belt?
Yeah, I think, obviously, I think any world champion, you have to give respect. At this level, it showed tonight, at this level, you have to give everybody respect, because it can all change in a flick of an eyelid. So you have to give everybody respect at this level, especially world champions, because, people don't realise what it takes to be world champion. There's only, there's a small population, of boxers what actually become world champions. So you have to take it after them people and respect them. So I respect all the champions. I respect them all. But I'm willing to fight them all as well. I know that I'm not out of my depth with any super middleweight in the planet, or any middleweight. So, the option is still there. Like I say, the option is still there at middleweight as well. I moved up to super middle because I couldn't get the big fights. Just couldn't get them. Nobody's fault. Just, we signed, we're ready, and just couldn't get them. They couldn't get them across the line. So, hopefully now at super middleweight opens new doors. And, I've still got a couple of things really that I would like to put right in my boxing, to add to my boxing. So, like I say, obviously teaming up with Ben now, I feel we can bring that out. Everyone can see that my fitness is there, the skills are there, and I just want the big fights, because it gets a bit frustrating when you're at this level and you know how good you are, but you can't be let loose in that sort of era of them good fighters to see how actually good you are.
Why do you think you haven't got those big fights?
I just think that who needs a slick southpaw who don't really get hit a lot. He's a very good mover. He can box, he can fight. He's sort of one of them, really. All right, he's world champion, but we're really putting our title against the line against him. Probably they're looking and thinking he's not a big draw. So, one of them, I have to put myself in a position now, which I feel that we've done with this move to become super middleweight world champion, that fighters now have to look and say, well, he's world champion. That's what if we want to be world champion, let's take a chance. And, with the backing of BT now, we can bring them big fights here.
Bill, you've achieved so much with inactivity and your injury and things like that. Are there things that that you have to achieve to fulfil the potential that we all saw in you from so early on?
I just feel that, I feel that I can sometimes, in the past, I've took my eye off the ball. You know, and when you take your after ball in boxing, it's one of those. You take your after off the opponent in the ring, you get knocked out. You take your after ball outside of the ring, and you know you can't get them big fights. You can't get up for them, and you know, so you've got to make sure now to stay. Well, what I've learned from 2018 and in the past now, moving on to 29, coming up 30, I need to stay active and need to stay in the gym because I'm not getting any younger, and I need to be more active now to get the best out of me in my 30s.
But on the other side is, I mean, it's not like he's not a success story. He fought for our country in the Olympics, British, Commonwealth, European, world champion,
Two-time, two-weight.
two-weight world champion. So it's a bit of a success story. You know, his fights have all of his big fights have all been shown on TV. All his big fights have been shown. Most of them have been live on TV back to the States. So, you know, he's got the exposure. The exposure is there, and it's just that the couple of guys there who do have belts, who are big names there. It's a bit like it's the same situation I was in with Joe Calzaghe, where I couldn't get. We tried for ages to get him a big fight. We just couldn't get one done. I mean, we had a deal done, Don King and I, for Joe Calzaghe to fight Bernard Hopkins. Agreed the terms on the telephone. With Bernard was on the phone, King was on it. Jay Larkin at the time from Showtime was on the call. Agreed the terms. The next day, Bernard said he wanted double the amount of money, which meant he didn't want the fight. So that's where he's at. But it's our job now to make sure one of these big fights happens. He's done everything over here. He's beat everybody over here. You know, anybody that who wants to step in the ring to him. And you look at his record and think, how many undefeated fighters did you fight on the spin? There's about 6 undefeated fighters on the trot and beat them all. And a couple of good fighters there. Well, a few good fighters there. So he's, you know, that's why I've always had the faith in him. I like the boxing. I like what I see in Bill. And Bill, when he's on form and when he gets the bit between his teeth and he knuckles down, I don't think there's anybody out there can beat him. I want to see him fulfil his potential and not piddle it away. I want to see him make sure that he can. I think he has the potential over the next couple of years to be the British fighter of his generation. If we can get him and manoeuvre him into the right big fights. There's a great big fight to be made in this country with Callum Smith. It's a fantastic fight to make. What a great unification that would be. That would sell out anywhere.
You said on the phone to us the other day, I think it might have been a bit of a joke, that you bring Callum tomorrow morning to get that fight made. What would you think that performance and that win would have affected the negotiations?
I don't think. Listen, I know Callum's a good fighter, and like I say, I know he's not one of these that bottle out of a fight. I know he would step up and have the fight. You know, I know that he's not one of those who thinks about stuff. He will put it on the line. So that's one thing I can say about Smith. And he's a good fighter, probably one of the best at the weight. And you know, I would love to put myself against him to see how good I am. So he's obviously a good fighter, and I think that that fight can be made. I know he's fighting in June, so I want to be out around. You know, just after, you know, around after that, you know, a few weeks after. So I don't know if that can match up straight away because I want to be out 3 times. But maybe the end of the year that can happen.
Given he's on the other side of the road, Frank, is that?
Sorry?
Given he's on the other side of the road.
Listen, we've that's never been a problem with us. If the terms are right, we have no problem in going to the other side of the road, and they should have no problem coming to our side of the road with what we're prepared to offer. Wherever the best deal is, let it happen. It's a fight, you know. If you've got confidence in your man, he'll come back. If he has to go the other side of the road, he'll come back here afterwards. You know, Bill went out to fight Lemieux in his own backyard. Went out to do that. He was going out to fight Andrade in his own, in the other guy's backyard on the other side of the road. So that's nothing anybody can accuse him of or us of. We never stand in the way of that happening. For me, it's all about whether they fancy it. I spoke to Joe Gallagher and he told me that Callum's next couple of fights are all panned out for him or planned for him, and I said to him, well, let's make this one. This is a bigger fight than all of them. And he said, well, let's do it next year. But let's get it right. Callum's never going to be a super middleweight this time next year. He's going to be a light heavyweight.
Do you think
Him out next week?
Sorry?
When would you like him out?
Like to get him out. Well, we're just going to talk about it afterwards. So.
Getting out tomorrow in the pub and have a fight there.
Or tonight? Even.
Yeah, tonight. Me and Frank get out there.
Knock a few out. Sorry?
How soon would be feasible?
Well, I think, we've got to be sensible. Probably in the next 3 months. That's what it'll be. That's what we want to do.
Who do you think-
Ben's. We've got to work it out logistically because Ben's obviously out there with Tyson. So we've got to work out the logistics of it.
But do you think that Callum Smith fight would kind of give you then the recognition you feel you deserve? A big
See,
fight like that.
the thing is with me is that I rise to the occasion. So my performance will give me what I need to deserve, and I think tonight it was, like I say, a 6.5 out of 10, 7 out of 10. But that sort of fight there, if that fight can be made, and I can come out as a winner there, I think people's got to say, well, look, he's the best super middleweight. I think Callum's looked at as the best super middleweight or one of the best, but I'm world champion now, and I'm willing to make a unification fight with any super middleweight, any.
He's done what Joe Calzaghe did, middleweight, super middleweight. That's what he's done. He's moving. It's exactly the same scenario, same as Nigel Benn did. It's exactly the same thing. And you could say it's the same as Chris Eubanks, but Chris Eubanks never fought a top-class American, never fought a big American name. He's been in and done that. He's travelled, and he has no problem in doing that. We will make these fights happen. They will happen.
Joe's obviously gone down as maybe the best ever from Britain. Do you think that Bill's got the platform now?
I remember when Bill, I remember sitting down in Cardiff, and there was just a few journalists down there, and it was in sort of late 90s, and I said, this guy's going to be the British fighter of the new millennium. I said, he will be the guy, stand on me. And that's how it turned out to be. And I think, as I say with Bill's problem has been his discipline. It's as simple as that. It's all about discipline. And we've had talks in the past, but we all know now where we're at. We all know what he knows better than I know what he's got to do. He's got a trainer who don't stand for no nonsense whatsoever. He's in a camp that's has become like a renaissance as far as guys who never looked after their bodies in between fights. You look at Tyson and so forth. They look like fighters now. They're like athletes. I mean, Tyson looks like an athlete, doesn't he? He's an
I've just got to sort myself out now.
I know, mate. I was going to say that. I was going to mention, but they're athletes, and Bill's not stupid. He knows where it is, and I like to think he's seen Tyson and where he's got to in the last few months. Who's an undefeated fighter, by the way, who went and beat Klitschko, but now look at them now. They're different class. We know they're great fighters, but the discipline and being athletes takes them into a new dimension, and that's where Bill's got to be. So we're going to keep him busy and make sure that I think he has all the capabilities of emulating what Joe did. I'm not saying he's going to have as many defences now, because what you had now, how many defences you had of your title?
I think I had about 3 or 4 the other one.
So, he's behind on that as far as Joe was concerned, but he can certainly go and fight the best that's around now and beat them like Joe did.
Billy, you started your career just down the road at Hoddesdon in Cheshunt. I mean, what would you say to all those young aspiring boxers when they see what you've achieved?
Yeah, I started.
What did it mean for you to fight here on home soil as well?
I started in Cheshunt. He knows, he was there alongside me there. I remember punching him up. And listen, I just like to say, look, first of all, obviously I've got to thank the fans. There was a good crowd there tonight. If someone, I'm setting a goalpost now for the likes of my kids and other kids to be, to see where I come from, and if they can achieve that, like world champion and 2-weight world champion, out of 100, if you get one to do that, I'm over the moon. So I think it's a good example. It's about time I set a good example for kids for the right reasons instead of the wrongs. And it's 2019, and that's got to happen. So good's got to come as well as in the ring, also out. So yeah.
Well, if you're thinking of going to see Tyson in June, might you go through New York the previous Saturday and call out Golovkin?
Listen, I've had the sick of calling them out. I am super middleweight world champion now. I know that they're probably looking to prime Golovkin and Canelo up for a trilogy, 3rd fight, but any one of them want it, call Frank, and we can get it on. No problem whatsoever. I'll be willing to fight any one of them next.
You can't.
Down to middleweight for Golovkin?
100%. Let's see if he wants to become a 2-weight world champion. I'll give him a shot. I'll give him the first shot if he wants it.
The thing about it is, what really I find frustrating, they, not our contracts, they sent their contracts, which were duly signed by us all, and sent back to them. And they never signed and then sent the contracts back. So no one can say he's ducked anybody. He's signed on the dotted line twice.
We're very rarely had to see your chin tested, but we don't get it very often. You got caught a bit in the sixth, you come out of nowhere with it. How did that feel?
Yeah, I think, listen, you can't walk in the rain without getting wet. And like I say, sometimes in that ring, when you just take your eye off the ball for 1 second, careless. You know, when you get careless, you know, any shot come at you, people can get clipped. I feel that it's one of them that, you know, moving up to the new weight, you know, testing the water. And to be honest with you, for the first 3 or 4 rounds or 5 rounds, and I wouldn't say I was getting bored, but I was just doing what I wanted to do. He was just playing eat the jab, couldn't miss him. And just got a little bit careless. Look, I got hit. I didn't get hit and hurt. When I got hit back, I went on my back foot, and I was telling Ben I felt a little bit of cramp as well. But he caught me with a good shot. He caught me with a good shot as well at the same time. So you have to go through these experiences at this level, then, you know, making the mistake in a Golovkin or Canelo fight. This is all learning. You never stop learning when that bell goes. You always got to, you know, and I will put that right for my next one. You know, next time, please God, you won't see me get it with them silly shots, them daft shots, because I feel I took a couple tonight. I think I took 3 or 4, and they was uncalled for. I never normally do that, but, you know, you get a little bit complacent, a little bit lazy, and that's what happens in boxing. You get hit. So, yeah, hopefully I won't get it like that next time.
Ben, what did you think of Bill's performance, your second fight in the tournament in there?
It was a good performance, you know. One thing I would bear in mind, which I knew all the way through, is we only actually had 9 weeks going into that, you know, and it's not that long of a training camp. It was a good performance, and Billy Joe he felt very, very strong going in there, and, you know, through sparring and all through his training. And I could see that he was hurting Isufi, but that's not Billy Joe's style. It's not to plant his feet and let big shots go in. He just got a little bit greedy, which is something that we spoke about. But listen, like Billy Joe said, it's a learning experience. He knows to stick to his boxing skills. If it comes, it comes. If it doesn't, it doesn't. And when he sticks to his boxing, I said to Isufi after, I said, do not be disheartened in that, because he will do that to anybody. He will do that to anybody. But a little bit of greed, and it's a lesson learned. But good performance.
Are there any more questions? Or are we done? Right. Thanks very much. Thanks for coming up here. We're all going home, so we'll be home in 10 minutes.